Absolute bedlam. Absolute bedlam. Absolute bedlam. Talking about topics and stuff. Absolute bedlam. Absolute bedlam. Absolute bedlam podcast. Who? What? Where? Why? Hello and welcome to Absolute Bedlam podcast. I am here tonight. Fancy something a bit different. So this is the first episode I've ever done, which is about alcohol, and it's about vodka. So a bit of variety here on Absolute Bedlam as always. I have with me Hugh Lambert, who is the founder of Shanty Spirit. How's it going, Hugh? Are you well?
Hi, Ben. Nice to meet you again. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah. Very good, thank you.
Fantastic. So I haven't actually met you in the real world, and I'm very aware of that, but I did meet your team at Bournemouth Air Show last year. I thought you had
Did you get a drink? Did you have a cocktail?
Didn't have a cocktail because I was driving. I was very, very tempted though, and I liked the look of your bottle. I've got one here. Try to be prepared over here at Absolute Bedlam. There he is. You notice that it's quite low.
Good, as it should be.
That's it. I've got your infographic thing as well with all your cocktail ideas and all that sort of stuff. I have been drinking it with Coke quite a lot. I'm not that upmarket that I can afford ginger beer and wedges of lime and stuff like that, but I have been enjoying what I've had. Mostly New Year's Eve.
Just try it on ice on its own.
Yeah, still got a little bit left.
Lime or something.
There we go. So, Hugh, how did this all start?
Well, it feels like a very long time ago now, actually. I suppose I was kind of closely connected to a gin brand, a local gin brand. And until then, I didn't really understand that gin is essentially flavoured vodka. But everybody was making gin. And I've never been a huge fan of gin, I think because I don't particularly like juniper. And gin is obviously juniper distilled in vodka, and then you can put any other botanicals you like with it and it still becomes a gin. It's still in the gin category. But to me, there was an opportunity there, considering vodka as a blank canvas essentially for botanicals, to use a different set of botanicals than you'd find in a gin. Still complex, still interesting, appealing to the gin market because they like the kind of nuances of those spirits with lots going on in them, but also appealing to the vodka market as well because it's not a gin, it was offering a slightly different flavour profile, well, a very different flavour profile. So that was the starting point for me. And at the same time, I used to work in TV as a cameraman, director of photography, and I was working with a guy called Roger Phillips, who unfortunately is no longer with us.
Oh man.
He passed away last year, but he was a lovely man in his 80s, and he wrote Wild Food, which he wrote 30 years ago, which is a kind of forager's Bible. He's regarded as kind of, the top dog in the foraging world. He's brought out 30 books, I think, since then. And he introduced me to seaweed, and I kind of just really loved the basey flavors of seaweed. And I thought to myself, well, if I can base a spirit around that, it's going to add new, complex, interesting umami flavors to cocktails, and with some standard serves and mixes as well. So it's actually very versatile, more versatile than we intended originally. So that was the starting point. So I spent 2 years distilling nothing but seaweed, trying to find all the different seaweeds from around the UK. The vast majority, like 90-something% within the intertidal zone, are safe to eat. They don't all taste good. So I set about, there was no blueprint for this, so I set about distilling all of them that I could find the best ones. I didn't want to just use one because they do offer different things between the brown, the red and the green, and the different species. Distilled them all. Some were revolting and ended up, tasting like smelly socks. But a really select few of them were absolutely amazing. So we've got a combination of 5 different seaweeds in the product that we used.
Fantastic. So what does it take for a company to not only survive in this current ecosystem, but thrive during something like COVID?
Oh, well, we launched just before COVID. Actually, I conceived the idea kind of long before COVID, but we were just getting going. We actually went to Weymouth Seafood Festival with a white label product. The bottle wasn't finished at the time, just to see what the public thought of it. And then it was really well received. And then COVID hit us. So we kind of had planned 2020 to be all about customer facing, talking to the public, getting out to all the food festivals and the markets and everything else, and kind of introducing the brand to people and the concept of the drink. So that scuppered us really. And the other key kind of industry, obviously, that we're interested in is hospitality and retail. So it was a little bit of a false start. Saying that, it was a good time. There was lots of other things to do during COVID. You know, we started sort of looking into the social media side of things, trying to get to grips with that. Me being 50 this year, you know, social media doesn't come naturally to me. It's not something that I've been massively active in, but obviously it's a great platform for us. So I needed to kind of get to grips with that. So it was a good time to do that, you know, get some online sales, which we did have some online sales through that period, and kind of regroup and bolster ourselves digitally through that.
Fantastic. Yeah, your Instagram profile is very, very good. There are companies similar size to you that don't fully grasp, you know, what you've done. So yeah, just looking at your profile, you've got nearly 2,000 followers. So if anyone out there fancies looking at some lovely Botanical vodka, then give them a follow. And yeah, you've posted pretty consistently, and you've obviously done a podcast in the past, which I was listening to again earlier, which was...
Yeah, I'm sorry, someone else had my podcast cherry.
That's all right. Was it Heroes of Hospitality or Humans of Hospitality?
Humans of Hospitality, with the lovely guy Mark Cribb, who has kind of several restaurants in the Bournemouth area, one right on the beach down by Boscombe Pier in Bournemouth, and some other great venues. So yeah, he took it upon himself to do that with his time in COVID. You know, so that's been really helpful.
Yeah, fantastic. Do you still speak to him?
Yeah, I'm still in contact with him.
Awesome. Cool. Just rewinding slightly, life as a cameraman for 25 years, did you find a lot of that was driving and travel lodges? And like, I think you mentioned in that podcast that I've just mentioned, it was a very single life and it was quite isolating.
It is a single life in as much as that, generally speaking, I was a documentary cameraman in the main. That's why I got into it. So a lot of foreign travel, went to a lot of amazing places. And, you know, you're part of a small team as a crew member. But yes, moving around a lot, living in lots of hotels. I had my first daughter and then I couldn't do that anymore. So I ended up filming things like Come Dine With Me and Scrap Heap Challenge and things like that for 10 years. Which wasn't really what I got into it for, paid the bills, but it got a bit tedious in the end. You know, I wasn't really able to be a present father, which was kind of, you know, more important to me at the time. So I was always looking for something else to do, tried a couple of things, and then really followed my heart with Shanty, because I've got an absolute love for the coast. I've lived near the coast most of my life. If I plot a route of my travels over time and I could kind of take a bird's eye view on it, I realised that actually I spend all of my time next to the coast, where I feel settled. So the opportunity to have a brand that was all about that, and I'm not alone. You know, a lot of people love the coast. There's a reason why property on the coast is, you know, 10 times what it is inland. And people really kind of, you know, can align with that. And I can really enjoy playing with the brand, bringing out products that are directly connected to, that kind of environment that I'm very passionate about.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I've lived on the coast for 32 years now. I've always lived in Weymouth, and I think on your website you describe it as quite magnetic, and I couldn't agree more. There's people that have tried to move to London and Bristol, and they've always ended up coming back to Dorset in some capacity, even if it's just for a year or so, and then they head back into the city life. But it's very drawing, isn't it? And very tranquil. And I kind of take this place for granted sometimes. I do like to walk along the seaside and take it in,
Yeah, it kind of centers you, doesn't it?
Definitely, yeah. Gives you a bit of reflective. Yeah, it's fantastic. Love it. So, what have we got here? So I got a question. It's from my friend Jim, who is an avid listener of Absolute Bedlam. If it's music, if it's fitness, if it's video games, if it's vodka, Jim is asking the questions. So, how do you make alcohol stronger? Is there a different process to the standard? Because you see all these like special reserve whiskies and stuff like that. Is it the same with Shanty?
Well, actually, it works in reverse. So,
Okay.
you get vodka at about sort of 96% ABV,
Yeah.
which you wouldn't really want to drink.
Yeah.
And you cut it with water. So, that's how you can be so precise with the ABV of a drink, because you're diluting it.
Ah, right. Okay. I did not know that. There we go, people. Write that down. And I've got a question from my girlfriend, Hannah, which is the size of your batches. It's a very specific question. During the start of Shanty, what was the average sort of order batch that you got compared to nowadays? Sort of how have you gone through
That's a good
time?
question. So originally we outsourced everything to a distillery in Scotland called Strathern. So I created the product, I did the distillation at home, I invented the recipe. I then took it to them to fine tune. And the guy that I worked with was the distiller at Brewdog, so he's got some pedigree. And he was very excited to be working with kind of, new and exciting botanicals and flavors. And they did the whole lot. So they distilled it, they bottled it, and I just got sent down cases of the product.
Yeah.
So at that point, it was more of a marketing job for me, really. Once
Yeah.
I created the recipe and the product, it then switched over to sales and marketing.
Yeah.
And very small amounts initially, which was why I went to Strathern. That was one of the key reasons, because they said they could offer me anything from 20 litres through to 100,000 litres if I wanted in a year, kind of thing. So it was very versatile. I didn't have massive minimum order quantities on that, so I could test the waters. So first out for us, as I say, was Weymouth Seafood Festival. We took 100 bottles pre-order in 2 days without the bottle there, so I think that was really good. And also people had to wait a couple of months to get it, so people were patient enough to get it, trusting enough that we were going to send it. And those were the sort of size of batches, so 100 bottles at a time, that kind of thing. Now towards sort of Christmas of last year, we were looking at 400 litres a week.
Jesus. Very good. Well done. It's a testament to yourself and your drive and your team. Well done. Seafood Festival. Yeah. So this place, Weymouth, can't handle the Seafood Festival. The population explodes, and then it suddenly teeters off at sort of Sunday evening. Everyone gets their car spaces back to park in town and stuff. How did you find Seafood Festival overall? Did you find it very positive?
It was absolutely chocker.
Yeah.
And I don't know Weymouth that well, and obviously we were kind of, confined to our 3x3 meter space.
Yeah.
I did go for a little bit of a wander. I like the vibe. To be honest, I didn't go to the one last year where they held it in the Pavilion car park.
Yeah.
but I think I probably would have preferred year one around the town. I think it just had a bit more of a buzz. It wasn't ticketed. It was open. Anyone could come. Yes, okay, that had its problems.
Yeah.
You know, but it felt like the town had come alive, and it can only benefit from that, generally speaking. I think as long as law enforcement is on hand.
Yeah, and people pick their rubbish up. But I do see you around town in terms of Shanty. I saw you at Lyme Regis the other day on a shelf. I think I might have messaged you about that, and it gives you a sense of sort of pride. I think Mark in the hospitality podcast mentions, you know, it's one thing to visualize it and have a dream, and then you actually get, like, you know, a physical product and you see it being sold in shops, and it's quite a nice feeling, I imagine, to actually go through that entire process.
It is quite a buzz. I mean, you know, it is your baby. You put your heart and soul into it, and it takes, you know, in this case, it took 4 years to kind of develop it and the brand and the products and everything else before we released it. So there's a lot of time to invest, a lot of money to invest, and really the only kind of the only direction you can take is whether or not you love it, and then you just hope somebody else does as well.
Yeah,
you know. And you hope you hit the mark for other people as well as yourself. So
definitely,
that's a risk. But if you're not doing that, you're not really being true to yourself or true to the product. So
definitely.
As far as I'm concerned, it's the only route you can take, really.
Yeah, you just have to be like fully in it and passionate, and fantastic, cool. So this is probably a bit of a crazy question, but that's never stopped me before. So where is your company now in the grand scheme of things, and what do you see Shanty trying to do this year now that COVID's kind of on the way out? What's your goal?
So last year we hammered events. We concentrated on events. We really needed to kind of meet people, get liquid on lips, and let people try it, because it's very hard to explain a flavour. You can wax lyrical about it, but actually until it comes down to tasting it itself, then you know, it's a hard push. So having done that, this year we're going to carry on doing the events, but we're also going to move back to sort of looking at hospitality and retail and sort of structure a sales team. I've been operating in my house here, and kind of we moved from buying the whole product, finished product from Strathern, to just getting kind of vats of the product and bottling it ourselves here, wax dipping the tops of it and stamping it all by hand and everything else. So we were kind of moved to production last year anyway, which was good because it gave us more autonomy and we could respond to the market quicker, doing it ourselves. So this year we're going to carry on with all of that, expand and do more events, take on some team members, and I've also got a new. We've relocated down from the house to Poole Quay. So we've got a warehouse down there where we're setting up operations down there. So we're going to get production in there. We're going to get a still in there. We're going to get some staff, and we're going to start really pushing it this year. So so it's exciting times.
Nice.
You know.
And you're based in Bournemouth, is that right?
In Poole.
So Poole Quay is ideal for you then, isn't it?
Yeah, so we're walking distance from Poole Quay. So, you know, the idea is essentially to open up one side of the warehouse and have it as a bottle shop. You know, that kind of thing, or you can come and have a drink there. Obviously, it's all work in progress at the moment, but that's the dream. So it's an ideal location for us. We're 10 meters from the water's edge. You know, so you can smell the sea from where we are. You can hear the seagulls. You can walk it. You can walk to the quay, as I said. So it's a brilliant location. We're really lucky to have it. Yeah,
I think last time I spoke to you, you weren't quite sure on your warehouse. So it's nice to see that that's come along since we spoke last. So
that's all happened.
Sky's the limit. Fantastic. So I want to quickly move on to the label. So this is the thing that I think catches most people's eyes, is the artwork And I think you mentioned in the previous interview that you did that all of the seaweed is actually what goes into the product. Is that correct?
That's right, yeah. Excuse me. So we've got, as I say, 5 different types of seaweed. Oh, excuse me, I've got a frog.
That's okay. No problem.
So yeah, 5 different types of seaweed in here. We've got the kelp with this big one. It's a bit difficult to see in this light. Big one here, kelp. We've got pepper dulse, which is a little firecracker, red seaweed, sort of palm sized. And we've got sea greens, and so yeah, so everything's illustrated. The guy here, kind of Neptune-esque figure, Poseidon. He's there because we give money back to cleaning and protecting the seas. That's the kind of overarching mission.
That's it.
So that's what he's there protecting our seas, which is essentially what everybody who buys a bottle is doing as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. I think when you gave me this free sample bottle to promote, I don't think there was any plastic in the box or anything like that. So
no, we've gone for as organic and sustainable as possible. Even this is organic ceramic kiln-fired glazes on the bottle.
Okay, lovely. Sounds very posh.
So it's all part of the bottle. There's no plastic label here. It's designed to be a keeper. We're going to do a refill service through our retail outlet. So you can take your old bottle down there. They'll collect them all for us, and we'll pick them up and swap them for new ones. Yeah, fantastic.
Zero waste is always the best. Love it. Right, so I've got some slightly sillier questions, but before we head into those,
sounds good.
As a company and as Hugh Lambert, how have you found COVID overall?
Well, I think I had COVID Christmas Eve of 2019. So before it even got announced, I was absolutely floored. Christmas Eve, I had to send my partner off with the kids to go and have lunch with my family whilst I just, collapsed on the couch for probably 2 weeks, I think. I felt awful. I thought I had pneumonia. I probably did have pneumonia. And I was saying to my partner, I'm going to go down to the hospital and get myself checked out because I can't breathe properly. She thought it was man flu. And the rest of it is history. I haven't had it again. I am all jabbed up. So I've been lucky. My kids have had it. I've escaped it again so far. So good.
Did you find sort of having your distillery and your company, did you find that you ended up detesting it, or did you actually, like you said, obviously that you use the time to harvest the power of social media? It can kind of go the other way sometimes if it's the only thing to do.
To be honest, it was frustrating, but I'm kind of glad that we hadn't got that far into the journey at that point. We hadn't invested. I hadn't taken on a warehouse. I didn't have staff. So we were very lean, only, and so it was just a question of putting the whole project on pause rather than losing money left, right, and centre because we'd made investment and couldn't get a return. So it was a bit dull, but as I said, as I always say, and I say to my children, only boring people get bored. There's always a lot of stuff to do. There's always a list as long as my arm of things I want to do with my time. In that respect, it was just an opportunity to do those things.
Yeah, I like that. Only boring people get bored. Yeah, I decided to do this, and I'm now nearly 95 episodes in. So there we go. Investment of time, people. That's what it's all about.
Being creative. And that's something else you touched on earlier, which is, as far as creativity is concerned, someone else said to me once, people who think that they're creative because they think of ideas aren't actually as creative as they think they are. It's only those people that create from those ideas that are creative. So it's only by having a thought and putting it into action and following it through and giving it the energy and turning it into something tangible, that it's truly creative.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it takes a lot for people to actually put pen to paper, I find.
Yeah, just make a start.
There's a lot of guitarists I know that sit at the end of their bed and then wonder why, they're not famous. It's because they're not in a band. They like the idea of, do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to actually apply and, what's the expression? Put your full ass into everything. I think that's the expression.
Yeah, otherwise it's just a thought.
That's it. So, are you happy to talk about music?
Yeah.
So, can you remember the first gig that you ever went to?
Ooh, I can. I think. Yes. It was the Cult.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
At what is now the Lighthouse in Poole. Can't remember what it was called then. Not that. It was a long, long time ago.
Yeah. One of my first.
I loved it.
One of my first bands covered Wildflower. So yeah.
Some great tunes. I revisited it all the other day. Some great stuff there.
Yeah, they're quite underrated, I think. There's a lot of people that just completely sweep over them because they were called the Southern Death Cult when they first started.
Were they?
Which is probably a bit aggressive. But yeah, She Sells Sanctuaries, obviously massive.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Back then, I was into the kind of I was a bit of a goth. So I was into the Cure, the Cult. I remember going to see Public Enemy.
Yeah.
What's it called? PIL.
Yeah.
What does that stand for?
PIL. Whew, we're going back a bit.
Johnny Rotten, wasn't it? Anyways, it was that kind of thing. We used to be into all of that, and then I found dance music.
Public Image Limited.
That's the one. Public.
There we go.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what's the most recent gig that you've been to?
Ooh. So I think it's difficult with COVID as well, obviously. But to be honest, I think I used to live for my music, and it's taken a bit of a backseat over the last few years.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What with kids and everything else, I'm trying to think what it would have been. No, I can't remember.
No,
it would have been like Groove Armada or something like that.
Yeah, nice. Favorite gig you've ever been to?
I would put that down as, this is going back some as well, but it would be Prince at the NEC.
Nice.
We took a 2-day road trip in my old beaten up bay window VW camper van.
Yeah.
It took us a day to get there and a day to get back. We camped in some farmer's field and got kicked out in the morning, but the gig was just amazing. I think we turned up 10 minutes late, so we were a bit gutted for that. But
yeah.
It was awesome. That and Lenny Kravitz's kind of small, intimate gig when he had just brought out Let Love Rule.
Yeah. Amazing. Love a bit of Prince. Favorite film?
So I'm a film student. I was a film student, obviously, before I started working in TV. So this might sound a little bit wanky. One of my favorite films is Krzysztof Kieslowski's Three Colors Blue.
Okay.
So I like French film. I like, being a camera person and director of photography, I find that the French do visuals beautifully, really understated, classy, and it's a gorgeous film, if not a bit feminine.
Yeah.
And my other, probably True Romance, are going back again, that Tarantino script.
Yeah.
Punchy, interesting, but a bit soppy.
Yeah, I'm looking at Three Colors Blue on my phone. I love that the French just like swapped E and U over, and that is their blue. Bleu. Yeah. Bleu. So I've got it here. Yeah, 1994. So I was 5 years old when this film came out.
Oh, thanks.
That's all right. No worries. 1 hour and 39 minutes of Three Colors Blue. I'll have to give that a go. It's got 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. So. Yeah, good taste. Well done. Very good.
There's a trilogy as well. You get Three Colors Blue, White and Red. Which is
okay.
The tricolor.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice.
If you like it, you can go further.
Yeah. That's all. That's awesome. I've got some quick fire questions. These are just throwaway, just say what you see sort of questions. So you'll probably know what a Kinder Egg is because you've got children.
Mm-hmm.
So do you see a Kinder Egg as delicious chocolate or just some crap chocolate with a toy inside of it and you only buy it for the toy?
Crap chocolate, crap toy.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, the toys are bad now as well. And they're like 40 quid at the moment.
I don't like white chocolate. They ruined reasonable chocolate with a white layer.
Yeah.
And to me, it's on par with those crappy magazines with plastic toys on the front that your children, beg you for when you go to the shop, but actually last 2 minutes and are just landfill. So
they're strange because the first issue is always like 50p or 99p, and then the next 67 issues are like 6 quid.
Yeah, totally.
So they try and like reel you in on the first issue, and then before you know it, you've spent 300 quid on this like perfectly shaped, like scaled skeleton, and you have to buy each organ. I think I had one ages ago called How My Body Works, and my nan decided she was going to buy all of them. It's just mental waste of money. But I got to them.
Kids, isn't it?
Got to them what a kidney was, so it's not all completely irrelevant, I suppose.
Quite educational, but I'm talking Paw Patrol. And the Teletubbies, that kind of stuff.
That's it. Yeah. Baby Bell or cheese string?
Definitely Baby Bell, 100%. Baby Bell's got a lovely, sophisticated user experience attached to it.
That's true. You like your wax as well, don't you, with your bottle?
Wax. So. Now I appreciate Baby Bell even more now.
Yeah. If you go camping for a week, would you prefer to stay in a tent or in a static caravan?
That's very specific.
Yeah.
Well, as a kid, I did a lot of camping. I loved camping. My parents had a caravan, used to drag us into the forest every weekend in the caravan and then kick us out for a couple of hours on a Saturday morning for adult time.
Yeah.
We used to go and play. And then, as I mentioned, then I got into camper vans in quite a big way. I was almost going to start up a camper van company, actually, at one point. So I had a couple of camper vans. And I know this isn't in your choice, but I would go camper van.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
Fair enough. Secret answer number C, I call that. I like that. Living in a city or living in the countryside?
Again, I don't really, I do care. I love Bournemouth. And I think it's just about right as far as I'm concerned, the Bournemouth Pool area. We're surrounded by lovely countryside. We've got the Purbex, we've got the New Forest, but equally, I like the opportunity to go into town and have a bit of a buzz when I want to. So for me, it's not countryside or city, it's coastal and a bit of both. Yeah,
I get that. Fair enough. 2 more. Chocolate or sweets?
Definitely chocolate, 100%.
Bath or shower?
Bath.
Nice. There we go. Thank you very much. We've got minor inconveniences now, which is if you feel the need to have a bit of a vent or a bit of a rant about something that's been annoying you, then far away. I can start if you want, if you need a bit of inspiration.
Okay.
So when people say the expression, I'm not being funny, right? They're very, very rarely being funny. It's usually followed by a very sharp insult and a very aggressive jab. So just that expression, you can kind of expect, you know what to expect when you hear the words, I'm not being funny, right? But yeah, there we go.
Usually comes after a few pints.
Yeah.
And they're a little bit out of hand.
Yeah, the ramblings of Ben Garbutt. Yeah, have you got any?
I suppose one of the things that always used to bug me, because I did a lot of travel with work, as in TV. I had 2 passports at one point, very Bond, so on and off of flights all the time. And what annoyed me was everyone always pushed and shoved and scrambled to get onto the plane.
Yeah.
And then the moment that they've got to where they're going, they're pushing and scrambling to get off the plane. You know, I didn't quite understand why they were in such a hurry to get on, and then they were in such a hurry to leave.
Yeah.
Where the same place that they were in a hurry to get to.
Yeah, I get that.
Maybe they were finding a seat, but generally you've got a seat allocated and everything else. So it's just like everybody just automatically goes into panic mode about their position in the queue.
Yeah,
you know? I got to the point where I was kind of like, I'd be as late as possible onto the plane.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get
Why
that.
do you want to get onto the plane and just sit there like this?
Yeah.
For an hour waiting for it to taxi off? Why not just get on there just in the nick of time? And then let everyone just bun fight their way off the plane and just sit there and chill out for 10 minutes and then just wander off.
Yeah. There's only so much of that laminated safety sheet that I can read personally. Yeah. Just sat on the plane for an hour for no reason, like you say.
I think we're all right now. I think we've got devices.
Yeah. I always forget my headphones. I don't know what it is on planes. I just end up sitting there whilst the plane's in the air. Obviously, there's not a lot you can do. But I refuse to pay, £4 for a can of Coke, which is that big. And I end up just self-reflecting.
I tend to cry quite a lot on planes.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what film I'm watching, and I'm not a crier. My partner will tell you that. She finds it very difficult to get any emotion out of me most of the time.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
But on a plane, you could be watching absolute crap and you'll start having tears coming into your eyes. I think maybe because you're paying it more attention and it's just you and it. It's just there. And it doesn't matter what it is, actually, it can be really intense.
Maybe they should start doing movie premieres at 40,000 feet.
Yeah.
Be more intense and more emotional.
Yeah. And then you could kind of Oscar nominate on the way out.
Yeah.
BAFTA.
If you don't win, you got a parachute and you got to jump out.
Yeah, it's good.
I think we're onto something there. I'll message you after this.
As long as it's not planes.
Yeah, of course.
Snakes on planes, that's it, isn't it? Snakes on planes.
Snakes on planes, that's it. Brilliant. Have I got anything else for you? There was a question that I was going to ask a second ago, but it's completely escaped me. How many people work for Shanty Spirit at the moment?
Well, it's really just me. I'm kind of doing everything that I can at the moment. But then for events last year, we pulled in loads of people. So I've also got a very good friend, CJ, who lives in Weymouth, actually. Who's I don't know if you know CJ. His parents or his in-laws used to own Mallam's restaurant in Weymouth.
Okay. Yeah.
They've recently sold that. So he comes from a long line of restaurateurs. He's been a bar manager in Bournemouth and run some really big venues like 1812, Larder House, that kind of thing. So he knows this stuff. He's been involved in the spirits industry for a long time. He's helped out a lot on the whole journey, from tasting the initial kind of distillations and samples that we're doing and talking about what we were going to do with it and how we're going to move it forwards. And he's been a great right-hand man through the process. Yeah. So he's involved a lot, but he does have a day job, despite working at most of the events we ran last year, as well at the weekends. And then I've got a raft of other people that kind of help out too, with all sorts of things, whether it's constructing. My mate Barry, who's good at all that sort of stuff, he builds the signs and does all of that kind of stuff as well. So it's very ad hoc at the moment, and this year I want to move more into kind of pulling a team together that's there for the duration, that kind of will grow with the brands and kind of be really into it and move with us.
Fantastic. There we go. Watch this space. So a bit of self-promo and then we'll wrap up. Where do people go if they want to buy a bottle off you, website-wise?
So www.shantyspirit.com is available to buy online there. We are in local retailers. We're talking to Waitrose at the moment.
There we go.
So we've got various outlets. If you want to buy a bottle, we're going to list stockists on our website soon. We're going to have a website refurb, and we'll have a stockist list on there. If not, you just want to drink it or try it, and local bars, if they don't have it, ask them to get in touch.
Yeah. Like I say, I've seen it in shops, so I know it's out there in the wild. So yeah, awesome. Well, have you got anything you want to ask me?
I don't know. How are you? How are you doing? Are you happy in your current job, or are you still looking for more exciting work?
Happy in my current job at the moment. I'm saving so much fuel; it's actually insane. And at the moment, you know, with this whole Russia, Ukraine, and looking for an excuse to hike the prices of fuel, I'm fairly happy. But we'll see what the future holds. I never like to say that I'm 100% all in. I'm conscious that people at work might listen to this as well, so we'll go offline for that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy overall. Got me and my girlfriend at the house, and I get to see my son at weekends, and I dedicate Monday evenings to doing this. And obviously, it takes quite a lot of time.
How old's your boy?
Casper's 8, and he's loving life. We went to Comic-Con yesterday, and he was absolutely overwhelmed. It's only 5 minutes away from our house, so just had a great time, really, and
Fun, yeah.
try and keep him entertained. We go jogging together as well at the moment, which is quite nice.
All about that, isn't it? It's keeping the ball in the air with the kids, isn't it?
That's
you don't
it.
want to tantrum. You kind of just got to
That's it.
keep that mood up.
You got it. There we go. But yeah, it's all good. So, just to wrap up, we've got a silly question again. So, you being by Paul Key, I think this might actually be something that happens to you quite a lot. You're at Tesco's or any other supermarket, maybe Waitrose, if they're planning to stock your bottle, they might be your number one. You need a lunch. So what is your go-to meal deal if you're in a bit of a...
I am a meal deal fan, I've got to say, you know, and they've recently put them up to £3.50 instead of £3 if you don't remember your club card. So
yeah.
You really got to get on board with the club card.
Absolutely.
I love them. I have them all the time, and probably because I do try and get the most expensive things I can.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I feel I've cheated.
Yeah. That's what it's about.
Yeah,
definitely.
So club sandwich.
Yeah.
Most expensive sandwich you can find, and it's kind of all going on, all bells and whistles, triple deck.
Yeah.
A rainbow smoothie.
Okay.
Yeah. Them alone, those alone are kind of nearly £3.
Yep.
Right? And then it's a bit gluttonous, but a duo Snickers.
Oh, okay. No crisps.
I am trying to wean my. If it's crisps, then it's going to be beef hula hoops.
Okay.
But I'm trying to wean myself off the Snickers and move to a more kind of like healthy, like oaty bar snack type thing, you know, instead.
Yeah. Fair enough. I can't imagine.
Mix and match, move around. Can't always have a club sandwich.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go for a duck wrap. Sometimes I go plant-based.
Yeah.
Don't really like going for the kind of tuna pasta sweet corn combo. Bit too grumpy. Yeah. So yeah, I know what I like there, and as far as the meal deal is concerned.
There we go. Man that knows his stuff about vodka and meal deals. It's all about getting your money's worth, people. So if you haven't got a club card, not sponsored, get a club card. There we go. Right. Well, it's been an absolute joy talking to you, Hugh. I'm going to let you crack on because you've probably got quite a lot going on. And I imagine that being a one-man band, sort of, you have quite a lot of late nights and early mornings. So
yeah, it's feeling that way.
Wearing all of the hats in all of the places. So yeah, well, thanks for coming on. And
good talking to you, Ben. Nice to see you again.
If anyone wants any vodka, www.shantyspirit.com. And we might be able to sort you out a little bit later on down the line and get you some discount. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. And as always, feel free to follow this on Spotify or listen to it on YouTube or watch it on YouTube and subscribe. I'm nearly at 50 subscribers now, so we are slowly getting there. But yeah, Spotify seems to be the place to be. Is it? Thank you very much. So kind of you. Awesome. I'll speak to you in a sec, but I'll just stop the recording. Cheers, everyone, for listening. Take care. Bye. Absolute bedlam.
Archie Soul, as always, hooking me up with the beard wash from Duke Cannon. It's got a hint of oak barrel and Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. I know that's backwards, I'm sorry. Got some more Duke Cannon here. Same again, Buffalo Trace. This is a bar of soap, as I've mentioned numerous times now in guest episodes. That's a big boy. Bedlam 2022, once again, will get you 20% off everything on archiesoul.com. And for Christmas, I was very kindly given a £25 bottle of Anthony Sea Kelp Scrub, which is absolutely awesome, and I love it. So that's Archie Soul, www.archiesoul.com. And finally, we have made sure, as always, I love fragrances. If anyone knows me in real life, I love candles, I love scents, I love walking into a house and smelling like gingerbread or lemon and lime or strawberries. And I don't think that that's necessarily something that's appreciated by men. And I think it should be, because there's nothing wrong with it. It's always seen as very girly. However, I think that we should normalize it for men. So made sure.pigcartel.com. Bedlam 20, not Bedlam 2022, for 20% off your order. We've got wax melts to suit every emotion, every feeling. We've got Jamaican Me Crazy. This one, you can smell it through the wrapper. It is amazing. It's a really left field scent. It's quite a tropical, fruity smell. We've got lemon and lime. If the camera wants to focus, that would be fantastic. Lemon and lime. There we go. Smell that one as well. They're really powerful, but they're really like sort of punchy, and they are meant to be sort of chunked and sort of separated. You're not meant to put the whole thing in your burner. So yeah, there we go. Pink Flamingo as well is the last one I've got to hand. And we've got Avabath here. Avabath. So yeah, just mind-blowing. Everyone that I've ever sent any Made Sure stuff to has absolutely loved it. And I think that 2022 could be their year. Hopefully going to look at doing some events and some fairs when COVID finally jogs on. But yeah, I'm really, really proud of Hannah for making just these amazing snap bars, wax melts. We're looking potentially at getting burner kits, but that's a little bit way down the road. A lot of people say, you know, how do you use them? And it would be good to do like an all assembled thing. I think Hannah's looking at doing some spring scents soon. And then we'll look into doing it as a seasonal thing, you know, spring, summer, autumn, winter, Halloween, Christmas, that sort of stuff in the middle. But yeah, I absolutely love all my sponsors. I use all of the stuff myself, and I just try and be as genuine as possible with it, really. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you are watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I'm nearly at 30 subscribers, I think, and I'd like to get to 50 by the end of February if possible. I don't think that's an unachievable task. But yeah, thanks as always for listening, watching, and I hope that the guests that I've just had on has been interesting. So I will speak to you all very, very soon. Keep it Bedlam, and please support the show by supporting my sponsors. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Absolute Bedlam Podcast. Who? What? Where? Why?